It came to light for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube.
I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like.
Bro, listen. We out here
What kind of content?
You're not gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Bro, listen.
If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out.
You don't do what?
That's what I say.
Bro.
That's what I say.
Gene Deal didn't just face criticism. He was ambushed by Diddy's fiercely loyal army of defenders the moment he dared to speak his truth. But now, in a stunning twist, Katt Williams has exploded onto the scene, throwing his full, unshakable weight behind Deal. And this isn't the first time whispers have turned into roars. Rumors have long swirled that Diddy has allegedly been orchestrating moves to silence, neutralize, or destroy anyone brave enough to challenge his carefully constructed image. Once again, all eyes are locked onto Deal, with mounting suspicion that he's been deliberately targeted, made an example of. With every new revelation, the temperature doesn't just rise, it ignites. Nerves are shattered. Battle lines are being drawn in permanent ink, and a furious public is demanding the raw, unfiltered truth, not carefully managed narratives. One thing is absolutely undeniable. This powder keg is nowhere near finished exploding, and the most devastating, jaw-dropping chapters of this story may have only just begun to surface.
What did you do to him first inside the courtroom?
Lady.
What did you do to Mr. Gene Deal inside the courtroom right before my eyes? And why did I have to get in your face like this and tell you to step back from him? Why did I have to stand in front of Mr. Deal behind me and tell you to back up off of him?
Because it was two men handling business.
And then what happened? But what happened?
That's for me to know.
But what did you do? So why are you not telling the truth? My name is Candor. I'm transparent. I'm true.
You right here.
C-A-N-D-O-R.
Energy with you, sweetheart. I can't.
But you didn't have the same energy with him when he came outside either.
When he came outside, he left.
Man, get out of here.
He left. He left, yo.
A former insider from Diddy's own security circle has dropped a bombshell allegation, claiming that Diddy personally ordered associates to go after Gene Deal. And Gene isn't dismissing it as noise, he says it's absolutely true. In a chilling recent video, Gene revealed that he's been living like a man hunted, dodging familiar locations, watching every shadow, and staying in a state of constant, exhausting hypervigilance because he genuinely fears for his life. Meanwhile, in the dark corridors behind the headlines, the pressure is reportedly being ruthlessly cranked up on anyone daring enough to open their mouth publicly. The message being sent is brutally clear. Gene feels watched, isolated, and deliberately exposed as a terrifying warning to every other potential witness sitting silently in the shadows, calculating whether speaking the truth is worth the risk to their own survival.
He wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. Because I was having meetings with serious dudes in the street. And he refused to sit down. So what did he do? He tell his security team. He didn't tell the NYPD officers. He didn't tell the Department of Correction officers. He didn't tell none of the parole officers or anybody he had working for him that was officers. He told street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty. Y'all beat him up. He ain't telling them to beat me up. What I look like getting beat up? What a grown man look like, somebody smacking him around, hitting him and all this shit like that. I ain't taking no ass whooping. I ain't took an ass whooping since the doctor spanking me on my fucking ass. I ain't took an ass whooping since my mom and my daddy. When they stopped taking it, I guess I'm got amnesia. I don't know what an ass whooping look like or feel.
Make no mistake, this situation is far darker and deeper than most people ever dared to imagine. The alleged actions tied to Diddy appear to stretch well beyond Gene Deal, pointing to something far more calculated, a deliberate, systematic campaign to crush dissent and brutally reinforce dominance over anyone bold enough to stand against him. Yet despite the suffocating pressure and what many are describing as outright organized intimidation, Gene Deal refuses to crack. He continues speaking with raw, fearless conviction, standing behind every single word with the kind of unshakable, steel-nerved confidence that has turned him into a hero in the eyes of a rapidly growing public. No amount of alleged power plays or behind-the-scenes manipulation has managed to dim his fire. Gene has made one thing unmistakably clear: he is not going anywhere, he is not going quiet, and absolutely nothing will stop him from continuing to unleash his truth on the world.
Got a booking number, then you do an interview. I answer any of your questions. I ain't got no problem of answering anything that you want to know. All you got to do is pay my fee and I'll be there. He said, well, you ain't going to tell me how to get the contact. And as soon as he said that, and he came like he was coming close to me, I took it back to 92. Wu-Tang. Protect your neck. And that's all I'm going to say. I took it back to that. I took it back to 1992 Wu-Tang. Protect your neck. And he know what I'm talking about. Then when I did that, then next thing you know, a girl came, the guards started coming and stuff like that. And he told the guards, yo, watch the camera. He hit me. That's what he said to the guard. So one guard was like this. One guard got in front of me and I moved. He said, yo, Gene. He said, yo, Gene, because he know me. He said, yo, Gene, you could just knock me down, bro. Just take a couple of days and get up out of here. And so I was leaving. So he ran and got his camera, and then somebody called my name. He called my name like that. I turned around and I just said to him, I said, yo, bro, I'm not that dude that you could just run up on. I'm not that dude that you could say whatever you want to say. I'm a grown man. You understand? I'm not that dude that you could say whatever you want to say to, because if you run up on me, I'm going to knock you the F out. And that's how that went, bro. And there's nothing I'm proud of. You understand? But you don't talk to grown men. I don't care what kind of YouTube show you got. I don't care what kind of, you want to go viral, you want to do this and you want to do that. You conduct yourself as a gentleman. You want to call yourself a reporter. You don't see all the reporters who went to school. You don't see all the reporters who got their degrees, who got, who worked up the ladder to become who they are, yelling and screaming and cursing and saying all kind of crazy shit to people. You don't see that. But
Gene had seen this storm coming long before it ever made landfall. For years, a dark instinct had been quietly warning him that one day the temperature would spike, the walls would close in, and the demand to shut up and disappear would become impossible to ignore. Sources reveal that people had already begun whispering urgently in his ear, begging him to stop talking, to bury certain truths, and to let sleeping dogs lie. But these weren't friendly suggestions. They felt more like thinly veiled warnings wrapped in polite language. Diddy's inner circle has long been described as a fiercely aggressive force, obsessively guarding their empire's reputation with iron fists and zero tolerance for public embarrassment. In the cutthroat jungle of entertainment, the powerful don't just dislike being challenged, they destroy those who dare try. History has proven this repeatedly and brutally. Katt Williams himself has been dragged through professional chaos and personal warfare after refusing to stay silent and play along. The message this industry sends to the outspoken is ancient, consistent, and terrifying. Your courage will cost you everything. So yeah, how you holding up, man?
Man, how you doing?
I'm colder than a fan. They took my children from me.
Yeah, I mean,
how terrible is that?
I did want to ask. The cops, allegedly found some guns and.
Yeah, they always find guns. I never leave without. My girlfriend. I'm on the middle of an interview, sir.
Sorry about. They found guns and drugs. Now,
drugs.
That's what it was reported.
Sir, you can look at my paperwork. There was no drugs. Weed is not a drug.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that's safe for kids to be around guns and stuff like that? I mean, I'm just curious.
How do you keep this kid safe without guns? They were in a lockbox that the police broke.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
saying, if the police come in and raid my place and break into my gun boxes, you're gonna find guns. But these aren't. Well, I'm not in a gang. What difference does it make?
Now, you were actually stopped for this and let go because you have a license for it.
No,
right?
This is their 9th time coming to my house. The problem was this time they came to my office and took my kids from an office, not from my house, from an office. So now when I can't have my kids at my office,
that's an issue.
I must be the most terrible black dude.
Katt was still wearing Kevlar to bed. To bed. I would get in bed with him at night and he would have Kevlar on.
What?
In bed.
Bond has revealed something explosive. Diddy's problem with Gene Deal didn't start with federal investigations or courtroom drama. It goes all the way back to 2008. Buried deep in a past that predates any government spotlight by years. Even back then, Gene had already begun ripping back the curtain, speaking publicly about what he claims to have witnessed operating in the shadows. Disturbing behavioral patterns, suffocating levels of control, and carefully buried secrets that were never meant to see daylight. According to this account, those raw, first-hand experiences became the breaking point that drove Gene to walk away entirely. But here's what made him truly dangerous: he didn't leave empty-handed. Gene reportedly walked out carrying knowledge so sensitive, so damaging, that his very existence became a source of serious anxiety for those desperately clinging to their carefully constructed secrets. And yet, despite years of relentless criticism, mounting pressure, and what many describe as targeted intimidation, Gene Deal has never once gone silent. He keeps talking. He keeps pushing. And that, perhaps, is exactly what terrifies them most.
If y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we be like, all right.
Okay, so when was this? Because was Gene doing interviews at this point?
Yeah, we talking like 2008, 2009. Gene was spreading the word. You know, Gene was always bad mouthing.
Wait, hold on. Vlad TV started in 2008, 2009. YouTube was really early.
No, he wasn't doing YouTube and stuff. He was going around talking a lot. And we all from Harlem. So he was just talking a lot of shit. And it's a small, Harlem is small.
So what was Gene Deal saying during that time? What did you hear?
He basically was talking about Puff and woman that was going on with him and Kim. Puff being gay, you know, with him and Usher, shit like that. He was talking the same shit that he's talking now on a major scale, but he was spreading it around Harlem. Okay. So it was basically a thing where, yo, if y'all see that, man, I'm telling y'all better hear he got hands put on him, this, that, and the other.
In a deeply unsettling development, Trillions reported that another content creator actively covering the Diddy case was physically confronted by a group of his supporters right outside a courthouse. The message delivered to her was chilling and unmistakable: "You could be next." A calculated, ice-cold warning designed to terrorize her into silence and shut down her coverage permanently. But what transformed this incident from alarming to absolutely bone-chilling was the setting in which it unfolded. This brazen intimidation didn't happen in some dark alley or hidden corner. It happened in broad daylight, steps away from law enforcement officers who witnessed the entire exchange. And did anyone intervene? Did anyone step forward to protect her? Not a single person. The silence from those sworn to protect was deafening. For her, the takeaway was devastating and crystal clear. These pressure tactics weren't just aggressive, they were fearless, organized, and disturbingly far-reaching, operating openly without consequence, as though protected by something, or someone, far more powerful than the law standing right beside them.
Dog will holler. A hit dog will holler. So listen, let me just tell you something, right? Because this is an interesting point that Lovely T actually pointed out. All the people with money, power, influences, Diddy's equal. They refuse to come and support this man because they know something was wrong. But there are a million broke, dusty, desperate men out here trying to bully. It was a travesty. It was an all-out circus. Everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I've got a question for you, Tisa Tales, and everyone's going to want to know this. You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people in the courthouse is like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy's supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad and there was so much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street. It was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors, I hope to God they know how to sleep at night. because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people, I thought, this is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay to drug people up. It's okay to live a life of debauchery. It's okay to do whatever you want. Because guess what? If you work hard enough and you have enough money and enough delusional fans and you have ingrained yourself in culture enough that you can do whatever you want. And 12 of your peers will look the other way. Again, this jury was shocking.
Tisa Tells, when you say that Sean Combs supporters threatened you, what were they saying?
They were saying, you effing B, we're going to kill you, you effing B. Apparently I work for the feds. You're a plant. You made this all up because of your